welcome to the Combed Education Podcast. Let's talk hair. My name is Aras. I'm batch recording my content, and so I need a little workout of my jaw. That's bad. I'm gonna stop. Okay, let's move on. Hi, my name is Aras Nelson. I am your host and fellow hairdresser and total freaking goofball. But welcome to Let's Talk Hair. This podcast and really combed education in general is my avenue for contribution to this industry. I always talk about how my mission is to inspire and empower through my learnings. And I am a serial lesson learner, and I constantly reflect, and I'm constantly psychoanalyzing and trying to find okay, what can I learn from that? And maybe it's toxic, but it's working for me. And what happens is I learn the lessons and then I pass them on to my favorite industry ever, all my beautiful hairdressers. And so I hope that you do find value within the podcast and the blog and Combed Education and my Instagram. All of these are really to serve this industry, which I absolutely adore. So I talk a lot about hair color theory, hair, hairdresser life, salon life, mindset stuff, and all again in the hopes to save you years of learning lessons the hard way. And so today I want to talk about something that is such a big deal that a lot of us struggle with, and it's our comfort zone. And I'm here to tell you this. Your comfort zone is killing your career. I said what I said. Now let me explain. But before I explain, I'm going to read a few quotes. I love me a good quote. So here we go. So number one, this is a quote from Brian Tracy. The comfort zone is a great enemy of courage and confidence. John Asseroff. A comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. Neil Donald Walsh. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Abraham Maslow. In any given moment, we have two options. Step forward into growth or step back into safety. And my favorite from Roy T. Bennett, change begins at the end of your comfort zone. So, like I said, I've learned plenty of valuable lessons over the years, but pushing beyond what's comfortable and acting in the presence of fear have been the most life and career changing lessons for me. So like a warm hug from your favorite person, your comfort zone can be very encouraging, very confining, very comfortable. Hence it's called comfort zone, right? Your comfort zone can encourage composure and calm, but it can also hinder your growth. So I get it. There are some pros to having our comfort zones. For example, when you stay in your comfort zone, you're in familiar territory, right? You know what you're doing it well. Everything's all good. There's minimal risk in your comfort zone. Everything is familiar. And at the end of the day, you designed your comfort zone. It is literally perfect for your own comfort. I get it. It's happy place, comfort zone. But let's take a look at some of the cons of these comfort zones. First of all, a huge con is holding back. So staying in your comfort zone for too long is going to make you complacent. And if you don't take on things that sometimes maybe scare you or challenge you or get you uncomfortable, you will miss out on opportunities for growth. No risk, no reward. So I know this sounds cliche, but I'll tell you this, every single cliche is rooted in truth. So no risk, no reward. If you don't push yourself, if you don't try something new, you're not going to succeed at anything new. Big wins come to those who risk. Your skill set will dwindle. If you only work within the skill set that you know and within the skill set that you are comfortable with, you're going to neglect the opportunity to learn newer and more beneficial skill sets. And the major con is your comfort zone stays the same. AKA, you won't even be able to expand your comfort zone if you don't, expand your comfort zone. So like John Osseroff said, a comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. If you take a look at where you are in your career and where you want to be in your career, that gap is like the end of your comfort zone and the beginning of what I like to call the journey to your growth zone. Okay. So what the journey to your growth zone, if I had like a Venn diagram, okay, it would be the middle circle would be where your comfort zone is. This is where you feel safe and you feel in control. And then there's a bigger circle outside of it, and that's your fear zone. Okay. In your fear zone, you will find excuses to not do something. You don't really have a lot of confidence in the fear zone. You care about other people's opinions in your fear zone. We're trying to get out of this, right? So like from your comfort zone, you jump into your fear zone, you keep pushing, then you're getting into the learning zone. Okay. In your learning zone, you can acquire new skills. Your comfort zone is now expanding and extending. You will deal with challenges and problems in a calm, cool, collected way instead of fear and panic in the fear zone. So, and then just outside of the learning zone is the sweet, beautiful spot called the growth zone. This is where you are living on purpose. This is where your dreams live. This is where you set and you achieve massive goals. So it is a journey into the growth zone. So that gap that we were talking about of like, say you're an assistant and you want to own a salon, or say you have 100 people that you follow you on social media and you want 10,000. Like that is a journey outside of comfort zone, through the fear zone, into the learning zone, and finally into your growth zone. And I'll say this, it takes courage to step out of your comfort zone into that fear zone. Last week I wrote about and talked about fear in the post about the advice that I would give my younger self as a stylist. And see, the thing about fear is you can't just will it away. You can't just be like, okay, I'm just going to think about it and I'm going to think about all the solutions and I'm not going to be scared. I'm not going to be scared. I'm not going to be scared. I'm going to be brave. And then like, you're still scared. You can't just think and talk yourself out of fear. You have to act in the presence of fear. Once you act, even when you're scared, you take action, you move through fear into the learning zone and ultimately your destination of growth zone. So how is this all relevant to you? Hopefully at this point you're like, yeah, got it. I see the benefits, leave the comfort zone. Okay, cool, sounds great. But how does this apply to you? So staying comfortable is killing your career. If you are not pushing your creative boundaries, if you are not learning new skills, if you are not trying new products, if you're not learning new techniques, your career is going to be stifled and you will end up losing your clients along with your inspiration. When was the last time that you learned a new technique and actually applied it? Here's a question for you. Are you mortified of posting reels because you're afraid of what your friends and family might think? Been there. Are you staying up to date with current trends in haircuts and hair colors? Do you have big goals of opening a salon? Are you wanting to be an educator? Do you want to be a coach or a mentor or a consultant? Do these things scare the shit out of you? I'm sure they do, because these are way outside of your comfort zone. But I want you to think big picture. 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. Where do you want to be in your career? Because I promise you this, I promise you, if you choose comfort over courage, you will be exactly where you are at this very moment. There's no growth in your comfort zone. I get it. It's comfortable. It's safe. It's secure. But you're stagnant. As a matter of fact, it's decay. There is growth and there is decay. There is no just chilling. There is no stagnant. There is no, I'm fine. You're either growing or you're decaying. And so if you don't grow, aka get out of your comfort zone, challenge yourself, push your boundaries, learn new things, you're not going to just stay put. You're going to decay. Your business is going to decay. So I want you to do something for yourself. I want you to take a few minutes, grab a piece of paper, a little journal if you have a journal, if not paper, notes, phone, whatever. Take some time. And I want you to write down your biggest goals, like the big ones. Big. I'm talking big goals. And keep going. Write them all down. And then I want you to write down, what is the fear that is stopping you from taking action on these goals? I'll share a story. Combed Education, launched it in 2011, terrified. My fear was, at that point, guys, there was no independent education. Nobody had heard of it. Nobody had done independent education. I cold called in salons. I would walk into salons and say, hey, I'm Aras, Combed Education. I got these fundamental classes, blah, blah, blah. Who do you work for? Was their response. What brand are you with? What distributor do you work for? I'm like, I don't. I work for myself. My fears came true. My fear was nobody's prepared. Nobody's going to trust me. Nobody wants me. I have to be representing a brand in order for people to listen to what I have to say. Those were my fears. Had I done some work, I would have been a little bit more prepared when those fears came up, and I would have just gone past them. But I didn't, and they crippled me. Fast forward to 2018. All right, I'm bringing Combed Education back. We're doing in-person workshops. You know, what are my fears of those classes? Why was I so afraid? I still took action, but my fears were independent education market is oversaturated. At this point, everybody and their mama is doing independent education. Who's going to want to hear what I have to say? I don't have the Instagram following to prove it. All these fears. But I had done some inner work, so I acted in the presence of that fear. I was like, cool. People might think I'm crazy. Yes, there are 5 million other educators that people could learn from. Sure, it is oversaturated. Got it. Some people won't like me, but I don't care. I'm going to move forward anyway. And then pandemic happened, and I was like, well, that was very unexpected. And then just this year, I launched Combed Education Online podcast, blog, potentially a YouTube channel. The Fundamentals Course Shop. What the fuck is a course shop? It's an online course and a hybrid hands-on workshop. Like, it's brilliant, in my opinion, because I made it. But do I have fears around it? Yeah. When I was talking to my husband about taking Combed online, the Fundamentals online, all my fears came up. What if nobody wants it? You know, there's so many other educators from 2019 to now. Who the hell do I think I am? I don't have the Instagram following. Who's going to even listen to my podcast? Like, who am I? Those were my fears. They came up and they were loud as shit. But I know that had I listened to them and stayed comfortable and not recorded the podcast episodes, not created the website, not filmed the course, not put together the fun box. If I didn't do that, then my comfort zone would win. The fears would win, and there would be no growth for me. And my big picture, that would not fit. That would not line up with what my 5, 10, 20, 30-year plans are. Growth had to happen. So I had to act. So I want you to write down your big goals. And then I want you to be very, very specific. What is the fear that's stopping you from taking action on these goals? These fears are real. I get it. But remember, you have to act in the presence of fear to move through it and get to your learning zone and then ultimately to your growth zone. So what I have found is when I acknowledge the fears, they're not this big, bad, scary monster in the dark. When I shine the light on my fears and look my fears dead in the eye, they're not as scary. And so I'm going to encourage you to do that. Write down your goals. What are the fears? Be specific. Are you afraid your friends are going to make fun of you? Say, who the hell do you think you are making all these reels? Because I had that fear. But it's okay. Because, it's fine if they make fun of me. I don't care. I'm living my purpose. I'm doing what I need to do to make my big picture dream come to reality. And that includes pushing myself outside of my comfort zone. Write down the fears, shine the light on them, and know that you have to act in the presence of them. But by acknowledging the fears, you're taking their power away, right? So you act in the presence of fear. Where are you choosing comfort over growth? Where are you choosing complacency over courage? And is that going to continue to work for you long term? Because those goals that you're writing down, they're very much so outside of your comfort zone. If they were in your comfort zone, you would have those goals now. But you don't have them because you have to stretch outside of your comfort zone and choose courage, choose growth, and choose into you. Nobody's going to do it for you. I say this all the time. Nobody's going to be your hero. You have to be your own fucking hero. You got to do it yourself. You got to choose to get outside of your comfort zone, because if you realize the ramifications and the detriment that that comfort zone is causing you, you would push and stretch way more than you are now. So I encourage you to write down the goals, write down the fears, and just act. See what could happen when you act in the presence of fear. Do it scared. Just fucking do it. Do it scared. I believe in you. I believe in you. It's not easy. Doing the work is not easy, but holy shit, is it worth it? It's so worth it. All right, guys. Until next time, happy hair coloring.